Kieran, thanks for talking to us. Firstly, how's the squad come through Tuesday's test? Matt Penny obviously coming off at half-time.
Yeah, we've got a few little issues that we need to work through over the next day or two. Sonia Luku still from last Saturday. Unfortunately, it's going to be a struggle for him probably to get on the pitch for the rest of the season. Nothing too major, but a little knee injury that's going to take in around 2 weeks, so it's going to be tight for him for Charlton, so he certainly won't make this one. Matt Penny just a heavy dead leg, but it's probably touch and go. Janoy's working through the issue that he's had, but hopefully can make himself available again. And Wes picked up a really heavy knock on his ankle very early in the game and was limping with it, but managed to push through the rest of the game. But again, is a doubt for Saturday. We just need to see how he goes tomorrow.
For you there, and naturally at this stage of the season, is it important, particularly important at this stage, to be precautionary and think about the longer term? And also, does that open the door for some lads to take their opportunity?
Yeah, not necessarily stage of the season. We would never risk anyone's health anywhere at any stage of the season. If the players are fit and medically ready to play, we want them to be available to play. It's important that we are competitive in the game. But naturally we won't risk anyone's well-being. So we'll make assessments as we normally do. As you said, there's other players there who are keen for an opportunity, so there's a chance there'll be a couple of changes. But no, in general the focus has to be to getting a competitive team on the pitch and going to Crewe and hopefully getting a good performance and result.
I know you look one game at a time, but in the previous two, are you happy with how the squad's fared against two of the sides that potentially could get promoted automatically this season?
Yeah, certainly on Tuesday night. Certainly, I thought, as I said, it was a really strong performance. Dominated most parts of the games, and we matched up well. Ultimately, we want to improve. We want to, be more effective in certain areas. But yeah, I think we can be really happy with most elements of the performance. And probably first half Rotherham the same. Probably the second half against Rotherham was the only exception probably in terms of performance across the last number of games, but that's sometimes the one that you can learn from the most. We've had lots of good performances. Sometimes at times when you're a little bit short is when you can learn the most about where you're at. We got a really clear idea, a really clear vision of where the group's at. I think the effort levels from the players and the commitment has been really, really high, and everyone's now focused on the next thing and the next steps that we need to make as a team.
And that next step this weekend is Crewe, unfortunately, a team at the other side of the table. What do you expect from them? They've got that, no pressure on them. They're not playing for anything anymore. Does that make them particularly dangerous and unpredictable? Yeah,
I think they're probably a better team in that scenario. They're a good footballing team in general as a club. That's always been their philosophy. That's how they've operated for most of the season. Probably what can happen is when you're down the bottom of the league and you're fighting for every point, sometimes you go away from that and adapt your style of play a little bit at times to maybe do what they can do to try and get some points. But watching their game against AFC, their last home game, it was back to the Crewe that people are probably more familiar with. I thought they played really well. So it's a young team, and probably a team that will probably be more dangerous, will probably relish a little bit more now playing without the pressure of trying to stave off relegation. So we know it's going to be a challenging game. Again, they were competitive on Tuesday night against Sheffield Wednesday. Haven't watched that one, and it's their last home game, and they're going to want to go and put on a good performance for their fans as well. So we've got a good travelling support, I believe, and we need to make sure we go and represent that well.
Does that change anything in the build-up to a game when they're in that situation for the analysts and for the staff, how they look at the opposition?
There's always so many things to consider with Crewe. They've been a certain system most of the season, and then they changed a little bit their style of play, trying to get some results in the last few months. They then went back to a more normal template in the AFC Wimbledon game, played 4-2-3-1, played well, and then they changed shape 2 or 3 times in the game with Sheffield Wednesday. So it's one that we can't be too concerned or too focused on what they may or may not do in terms of shape or style. We need to focus on ourselves, make sure we're right. Attitude fundamentally is right first off, and then we go and put in a good performance.
And although he won't be involved this weekend, Raheem Harper, of course, been on loan there. How have you been monitoring that one, and have you been pleased with the minutes and how he's getting on there?
Yeah, we've watched pretty much all of his games. The staff especially keep a really close contact with him. More so, and he's got some games, some exposure, not always as much as we would like, but he's had good minutes and good exposure, which I'm sure will benefit from him, gives him some more understanding of the league and more understanding of his game and where he needs to keep developing. So yeah, we'll get a good chance to catch up with him now on Saturday and after Saturday as well, and have a good review of him about what the next steps he needs to take are.
Yeah, and you did mention the travelling support. I mean, I think it's just about 1,300 going up there. I mean, it is truly incredible, isn't it? You probably feel like you're asked this question every week.
Yeah, but rightly so, because it's not normal for every football club. It's abnormal. It's special. So yeah, we need to be so grateful for it. It's been fantastic. I thought the other night the atmosphere was fantastic. For the position that we're in, the way the crowd got behind the team, responded to how the team was playing, I thought it was brilliant. The away fans have been fantastic all year, and I know the players are so grateful for it. As a staff, in my time, we're so grateful for it, and to know it's going to be the same on Saturday, again gives, if there was ever any question of motivation or what we're playing for, it's going to be there right in front of us with the big away support that's going to be there. So I think that should take care of everyone's concentration and motivation for the game, and again we hope to give them something to celebrate in terms of a good performance and a good win at the end of the season.
Sorry, Kieran. And finally, the bigger picture of that support is that season ticket sales are going really well, and you've reiterated how important home support is, but also finishing the season on a strong note, and that can just kind of feed into next season, can't it? Yeah,
I think so. Look, again, I can refer to probably the other night where it felt like the fans are, they're right behind the team and the club. We're realistic with how the seasons went and where the improvements need to be made. But I feel like everyone was watching that team on the pitch thinking this is getting close to an Ipswich team that the supporters want to see in terms of the intensity, the quality and style of play, and the way that we were in the game. So I think the supporters are right behind a lot of what's going on at the moment. We all want the same thing. We all want the next steps to be made now in the team. But I think the way that everyone was behind the team is probably reflective of the mood at the moment, and it's up to us to continue that over the summer and do everything we can to set ourselves up well for a fast start next year. And I think if we get a good start next year, I think the momentum and the support and the backing that we have from the fans, I think that can really stand to us. It's up to us on the inside of the club to set up as well as we can to get off to a good start next season.